Way, way, way. The naked Chinese. You want to talk about the naked Chinese? I'm pretty excited about this. And I'm going to say his name. It's Martin Renner, because I'm looking for him. This is an example of somebody that we and I, we being me, decided not to be friends with someone anymore. And we have so much to be friends over that it's too bad. Sometimes I push things down a path where you think, why did I do that? We were smoking ghost. I probably should have a Smoking Ghost t-shirt on right now. And if I can pull it off, I'll make that Smoking Ghost poster as my thumbnail. But the truth is, we were smoking ghost. Smoking ghost. Maoyandigwe. Yeah. They tried to change the name of our band as we let them in on the fact of what it was really all about. And they're like, no, you're getting it wrong. I said, no, this is absolutely correct. We are Maoyandigwe. We are the Judas resurrection. Smoking ghost. I'd been living in China just long enough to start to understand that some of the people that are Chinese look very Amerindian, Native American. They've got the look of somebody that's from Native America. And some of them have the look of people that were in the South of America, South America. They look like them. And some of them look like a mixture. Like the Cortez guys were banging the fuck out of, the spoils of war. That's how they do it. And so I'd gotten used to the notion of seeing a person as a Chinese person that looked a certain way or another way, and any other way. I could see that they were Chinese. And I'm standing on the street one day, just on the sidewalk after dark, just being out there. And there goes Martin Renner, Martin Stanley. He's going by on a bicycle, and he went by, and I looked at him. He had his hair dyed pure black like the Chinese so he could fit in. And I'm looking at him, I said, that's an awfully white looking dude. And he goes by, and then he comes back. Turns out he's from New Zealand. And he looks at me and he says, yeah, you need a job. And I'd just been fired that day against my own knowing. They let me get up and give a speech in front of everybody. And then on the way home, the one guy says, so what are you going to do now? I said, what do you mean, what am I going to do now? I just gave a speech for the school, Jinta, Golden Tower. Not shower, tower. Jinta. And he said, well, they fired you. I was the only one that didn't know it. And so I'm standing on that sidewalk after dark, and I said, something's going to happen. And there goes that fucking guy, and he comes back, and he says, you need a job. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. He looked really, really innocent, like one of these people that doesn't drink. And after that, people said, he doesn't drink, does he? I'm like, he gets more fucked up than I do. How's he pulling that off? Oh, because I'm too open with my demeanor. And so we met the next day, and he says, you know, I met with these people that are going to have a band. And we jammed for a while. And he says, well, you know, we don't need anybody that can do Axl Rose or anything. And I said, well, actually, I was like, this fucker, he's going to talk to me about it. I've been confused as being Axl Rose in the past. All right. Oh, that's Ted Nugent. Ah, oh, shit. Oh, well. We became part of Smoking Ghost. We started the band. I got taken off to another school that was out in the outskirts near the Vietnamese border. The Chinese people that he introduced me to, we started speaking between what I was learning in Chinese and what they were learning in English, and between the two of us, these organizations, we got better at communicating. I mean, they learned it from the third grade, but they don't get to speak it. They got better at English than I got at Chinese. So I suppose at some point you have to accept that they may be more intelligent than we are when it comes to how our schools teach us to communicate. And in the process of Martin and I being in Smoking Ghost and teachers on a professional side fucking job, we were walking one day while everybody was sleeping, and we found a dead baby. He was in front of me, and he said, oh, it's a dead baby. And I said, what the fuck is he talking about? And then we got up there, and there was a puppy eating at the face of a baby in a dirt-littered ditch. I know this went wrong for you, but it only made sense to me. It was logical. If they can only have one child that will be a boy and can't have any more unless they have a girl first and then they get a chance to have a boy, then they're going to throw the babies in the ditch if it's a second girl. And there'll be a puppy eating its face. And then some other teacher will say, you should have killed it and eaten it too. And you say, what? And they say, the puppy, I mean, ha ha ha. And you go, wow, they really are right in line with the U.S. mindset. It only matters that you have the baby. It doesn't matter to so many of these voters in the United States of America, these United States, that it lives. They don't want it to live. They don't want to take care of it. And this is the truth. Oh, I didn't mean to get so far ahead of you on this. But the truth is, within weeks, I started seeing what would be that girl baby in the ditch if it had lived and survived. They throw it out there. I saw a naked girl, woman. She might have been 60, she might have been 40, she might have been 20. Who the hell knows? But she had a a birthmark on her face. So it looks like they just threw it out because, well, they don't want that. And this woman, I would see her walking around naked all the time. There was a guy that walked around naked too. I tried to give him a pair of shoes. He didn't take them. He didn't like it. This woman, she would walk around naked, totally naked, full everything naked. And she would walk around and I'd see her and is just like, animalistic as she was. She had great set of tits. They just stood there firm and full. She had a great set of tits for a naked bum. And I'm like, there she is. And every time Martin would turn around, he's like, I don't see her. And then one day after many times, I'm like, there she is. He turned around, we were eating in a restaurant, and he said, there she is. I said, what are you talking about? And I turned around, and there was nothing there. And he looked at me, and he said, oh my gosh, I'm afraid. I'm starting to see things the way you do. I swear I saw that naked woman with her tits out, and you didn't see her? I said, no, I didn't. He said, I'm afraid that I'm starting to get delusional, that type of thing. And I said, well, after that, I saw her again once more. And she was naked and on the side of the damn road going, eating out of trash. She's just going, eating out of trash on the side of the road by a fucking garbage can. And I had it was a 10 UN bill. I took it out of my wallet and I snuck up and I had it folded up nice to where it was obvious what it was. And I set it down on the side of the goddamn road. And she looked at it and then she looked at me. And I realized she spoke some language. She said, why guare? And she screamed and looked at me like I was in the goddamn movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers. She yelled foreigner in Chinese. She pointed me out to everybody so that they could attack if they chose to. And they didn't. But I was like, I've never been so scared in my life of another human being, because this is the one that was born because somebody needed it born. It was born and thrown in a ditch after it was no longer necessary. And it either from there becomes a crazy animal walking the streets and eating out of the garbage and screaming foreigner, or it becomes a girl that's working in a rub and tug. That's what you get. And the thing is, the more we try to tell people in these United States that they don't need education and that we don't need to care for the babies we force to be born, the more they don't care about these things, the closer we come to being just an animal in the streets. I have seen how humans can revert to an animal nature. I have seen these things, and others have too, and been blown out of their minds because they're like, oh my God, it's real. You should have killed it and eaten it. It's just a modest proposal.